Have you had problems lately minting NFTs? That you had some congestion issues, your transactions taking forever? I've got some tips for you in this video so that you can get the drop on those NFT drops.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.
Hey everyone, I'm Peter Bury. If this is your first time here, consider giving me that thumbs up, click the subscribe button, notification bell, and hear more really cool Cardano related content from me. Now, if you're having the problem there of trying to get through your transactions for minting those projects, or even just trying to purchase something on an NFT marketplace, I've got a whole bunch of tips here that will get you through that process and make it a lot smoother. I've been able and lucky enough to mint some of my favorite projects here. So Disco Solaris, I was waiting for this one for quite a while and it finally dropped. I was on the whitelist, so it was quite early, but hey, I managed to get in and I was really happy with my mints that I got. Now I prepped my wallet, so I got everything ready so that this would be the smoothest possible transaction for me, so I could get this as quickly as possible. It was at 3 a.m. It was done and over for myself in about 20 minutes, and I got my NFTs, so that was absolutely phenomenal. Now I want you to have that similar experience, so prepping yourself, getting your wallet ready, and having these additional services so that you can get your mint as quickly as possible is crucial, especially for those really popular projects with a limited time period where you'll be able to mint. And with the congestion issues at the moment as well, there's also all sorts of other things. So let's have a look at what I've been doing. Now, I've put out a couple of videos that talk about how to actually go through and create your connection from your smart wallet, such as CCVault or Nami, to Daedalus. That way you're submitting your transactions directly to your Daedalus node and not relying on the third-party servers such as Blockfrost or CCVault's backend servers. Now, if you're not relying on those, you're not being queued up in their mempools, in their bucket of transactions. So you don't have to wait for those to fill up. If you're right at the end, it may be an hour wait, and that hour may be way too long to get your transactions through. Now, IOG are going through a scaling process at the moment this year, and they're going through 11 different ways to be able to scale the Cardano blockchain. And I've got an audio podcast that's coming out that talks all about that. So make sure you subscribe so you can listen to more about how and what all these scaling options are. But if you're going through one of my tutorials that teaches you how to connect Nami or CCVault to Daedalus, and you may have gotten confused, it's because I made a couple of assumptions, especially on the Mac. The Mac I've got set up as a development environment so I can develop websites and whatnot, and that has a whole bunch of things in there that I forgot and assumed most people had access to. A simple command such as wget, wetget, webget, a lot of people don't have installed by default. So I'll go through in a separate video that will talk about how to actually get through all those, but I have updated the documentation for a Mac so that you have those extra resources there downloaded and available. And thank you to the community members that pointed that out. But if you're struggling with all of this setup, it was getting quite technical, and you can see a lot of comments came through on it. So if that entire process of setting up the node was too hard for you, you can now use a free service that is being just set up right now called Freeloaderz. Appropriate name. What it is a whole bunch of stake pool operators have gotten together and added in the submit API to their relay nodes, so that now you can use those endpoints and talk directly to the Cardano blockchain without having to do all this additional setup with Daedalus. Of course, if you can set up Daedalus, that's probably the best way about it, because it's your own private communication to the blockchain. This still shares it with other stake pool and other people that are using the network. But if you can't go through that entire process of setting things up, or you're having difficulties, this is another option for you. And so far it's proving to be quite good. It's reducing the transactions time by quite a bit. So you can go through here, and it has instructions on how to set up your various wallets with these custom endpoints. And these are all the stake pool operators that are currently providing this particular service. And you can go through each one of their sites and you'll be able to find those custom endpoints. I'll just click on Santo here, and if I scroll down a little bit further, we can find his custom endpoint for his submit API. So you can grab that from all of the stake pool operators. We've set up ours as a private one for our stake pool delegates. So if you're delegating to ADAOZ, you'll be able to get to it via our Discord channel. So we try to make it a little bit more exclusive, but we we have one set up exclusively for freeloaders as well, as soon as they finish off some of their processes. But in here, you can find all those custom endpoints, and I highly recommend that if you're having difficulties in setting up your own Daedalus node, to check this out. It's a really cool service. The guys are really friendly in regards to helping and support as well. They do have a private Discord server where you can get some extra help if you need it. And I'll put the links to it down below in the show notes. So now that you know about the custom endpoints, let's go through some additional tips in getting ready for these drops. Now, if it's your first time ever setting up a Nami wallet or a CCVault wallet, there's a couple of things that you need to do. First off, I'm going to show you where that custom endpoint is in CCVault. So I've clicked on Preferences, Global Settings, and this option here, Custom Submit API Endpoint, I'm going to expand that, and you can see here that I'm connected to my Daedalus node. This is the address to connect directly to Daedalus. So that's it there. So you can put in your own Daedalus node, which will probably be that same address, or you can put in one of the ones that you get from Freeloaderz and use their relay nodes as well. So you have those options there. So that's the very first thing that you need to probably set up in regards to bypassing some of these wallet backends, which are sometimes very congested, especially during these NFT drops. So that's one thing that you can do to get past and speed things up. Make sure you have that set up. The other thing is, make sure this option here is enabled. So this is your DApp account. So I'm using the Chrome extension version of CCVault, which allows me to have this particular button enabled. So I'm going to make sure that this is always enabled. This will let me communicate to websites such as JPEG Store or CNFT.io when purchasing something with a smart contract. So that's really important to have that enabled. The other setting that you need enabled is the collateral. So you can see here that I already have it set up, and there's usually about 5 ADA that's set in there. Now this is for a safety mechanism. So if your transactions fail, your wallet doesn't get wiped. You have that extra little collateral there that is used in case of a failed transaction. So that's why that's there. So it's actually quite important. And a lot of the websites will force you to set that before going through and doing a transaction. So it's really important to have that set. So now that we have the custom endpoint set, we have our DApp connector enabled as well. So we have that particular account, DApp account connected, and we have our collateral set. Our wallet is essentially all good to go, except for one last thing. And I'll show you this failure message. Now, if I click on transactions here, I can see that I have 498 transactions. And if I go to account and tokens, I'm scrolling through here and I have quite a few tabs of tokens here, and some of these I have quite a few of. So I've got 5 unsigs, I've got a whole bunch of things. So you can see it's a lot of NFTs in there. So what will happen is if you go and try and purchase something, so I'll demonstrate by purchasing one of these ADA waifus here. So if I go down here and I'll go, let's just purchase this one, buy NFT. And this message will come up. So, oops, your wallet has too many UTXOs. So this is what's classified as a busy wallet. There's just way too much on there. I need to clean that out so I can actually participate and execute a smart contract. Now, this is because my wallet because it has so many things in it, when it's trying to write a transaction, it actually has to include all that mess that I have in my wallet. It's kind of nice having it all in there because I can view it all and go, hey, wow, look at my wallet. It's got all these things in it. But in regards to actually going through and trying to execute a smart contract, there are issues with it. And you can see just there, it's plain as day. So I love JPEG Store, how it gives me that error and is really clear about it as well. So I can't use my wallet on this site because it's so busy. I have to clear out my wallet, move all those assets off, whatever I want to keep, move in there. If I want to sell something, move it to another wallet or keep them in this wallet so I actually can sell my things. So that's really important. Clear out your wallet. If you're participating in Sunday Swap and using a DEX or MinSwap, whatever it is, it's better to have those wallets as clean as possible with minimal things in there so that you can get your transaction written and as small as possible so that you can actually submit it to the blockchain. So that's key. If you don't have a busy wallet with minimal things in there, then your transactions are tiny, they're smaller, their footprint is smaller, and it can submit to the blockchain more easily and get into one of those blocks. So that's really that's really, really important that you get that as small as possible. And that's probably my biggest tip. So let's recap about what I've just spoken about. So first off, make sure you're using a custom endpoint API if you can. So first off, try and use your own Daedalus node to submit your transactions. It means that no one else is submitting transactions to it, and you can broadcast your transaction out there. So that's probably the best way about it. If that's too difficult for you, use one of the custom endpoints from Freeloaderz. So they can provide that service for you. It's free. For us, it's for our delegates. And you'll be able to submit your transactions through those nodes and take advantage of the direct connection there, and hopefully a lower mempool with less transactions waiting in a queue. So that's the second thing that you need to try and get cleared up. So the third thing is to get that wallet all set up and ready. So if you haven't set up your endpoint yet, make sure your custom endpoint is set up correctly. And then of course, have everything set up so that your DApp account is already there and that your collateral is set as well. This will get you ready for interacting with smart contracts on any of those NFT marketplaces. So make sure that's all set. Last but not least, clean up your wallet. Make sure your wallet is as clean as possible, minimal NFTs, nothing in there, perhaps only ADA. And then send all of that ADA to a single address. And that will help clear things up and make your transactions as small as possible. So they're the main tips that you need to go through in regards to getting those transactions online and getting them submitted so you can participate in those NFT drops and get exactly what you want. So it's really important that you get all of those things set up beforehand so that you can get your transactions out. Now, a lot of people are using NFT Maker Pro in regards to distributing their NFTs. And I'll take you through the process and a couple of tips in regards to getting around some of this stuff and making it as simple as possible. So you saw how busy my wallet was, and that makes it really hard to actually get a transaction out or even at all when interacting with the DApp connectors that you've got in the wallet. So I'm going to go through this process and I'll show you the other option, which makes things so much easier. So this is let me just go back one. So this is a NFT of a podcast episode that I've created. So you can listen to the podcast episode as an NFT. I thought that was pretty cool. But I'll just click on pay via NFT Maker Pro. And here it gives me the options for CCVault, Flint Wallet, Nami Wallet, etc., etc. So they're the popular wallets, those Web3 wallets that we have. But of course, we have other wallets. And this is one that always works for me. So if I'm using Daedalus, for example, this is what I'll need to use. Now, this gives me the option for a simple pay-in address. All I have to do is submit ADA to a wallet address. They have a listener that sees that coming in and then will mint the NFTs based on that asset's arrival. So I'm going to go through that and actually show you how simple it is. It's not doing anything else fancy. And I'll click on that and hopefully I'll see a seaplane. No seaplanes, trains this time. And show wallet address. So this is a manual process. I have an hour, 10 minutes to do this, but I'm just going to copy that, go over to my CCVault and go send address, copy the amount, so it's 6.5 ADA. Type in the amount that I need to send, which is 6.5 ADA. I've got the fee on there as well. I'll just type in my password and send away. So the time is now 3:32 p.m. and I'll just wait for that to go through. But this by far is the easiest way to go about it. And I can already see it's pending and successfully submitted. So that's under a minute. Is that good or what? So that's using my own custom API endpoint to submit that transaction that goes through our own stake pool ADAOZ and gets submitted to the blockchain that way. So you can see that's successfully submitted. So it might take another minute or so to actually confirm that transaction and get a confirmation back. So fingers crossed that goes through pretty quickly and we get our NFT back through NFT Maker Pro. So I'm just going to let that sit. And while we wait for that to happen, so the time now is 3:33, I'm just going to talk about this really cool NFT project that I came across. And this is HorroCubes. This is a puzzle-based NFT game where you purchase the NFT and then you have to solve these puzzles to progress the storyline. And I just purchased one of these before. I'm really excited, one, because of the genre, and also that it's a little game that is all on chain as well. And I haven't gone through and played around with it yet, but it looks, the artwork looks stunning. I absolutely love this one. Let me just pull up the cube that I minted. So this, I believe, these are the 3 games that I can actually play on this cube to try and unlock it and then see what's inside, and that will progress me to the next stage of this particular horror story game. Now, it is a fairly cheap mint, so I'll just click on get one here, and it is 42 ADA. So it's 40 ADA, and that 2 ADA is that transaction, so you do get that 2 ADA back. It's a very simple minting process as well. I believe the developer built it all himself, and I'm pretty excited to get my hands on playing this as well. So I haven't worked out how to actually play it. So we'll work out how to actually get into the NFT and solve the puzzles. Now, there's only about 1,000 of these, I believe, and I think it's up to about 600. So let me just try and find that number. There we go. There's that number. So we're actually at 612 and out of 1,000. So and I believe that one. No, that's not mine. So it is minting. There's mine there. So it's still minting and going through, and it's a really cool project. And I think you should check it out and find out a little bit more about it. If you follow their Twitter account, just down here, there is a video that demonstrates all this as well. So you can get to it down here and you can watch a demonstration of how the game actually works. So it's pretty cool. Now let me just go back and see if that transaction's gone through. So it's pending still. It is now 3:36. So it may just take that little bit longer to get this transaction on the blockchain itself. Okay, and there is my final transaction. So it's on chain. It's now 3:42, so just under 10 minutes to get that through on chain. So that's really good. That's not too bad. Under 10 minutes to get that through, and it'll probably take about another 10 or 15 minutes to get that NFT back to me. So that's not too bad overall. I do prefer that method. It's been quite seamless in regards to getting that up and running. Besides my live stream, I know you people are watching. Besides that, I thought that process was really good. So remember, go through all those tips, prepare your wallet, get ready, and you'll be able to mint any of those NFTs when they drop. So that's it for me. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up, click subscribe, notification bell, and you hear more from me real soon.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debate.